Okay, we're in section 4 of the notes. Hopefully at this point you've paid attention to what we presented to you, basically solving very simple algebraic word problems. The key here is your ability to read, understand what you've read, and then interpret it as an equation, right? Typically the big problem there is identifying what the unknown is, and then just rereading the problem and then trying to answer the question, of course. We went through some examples though. Some of the examples were a little more difficult than others, but for the most part, it's a simple introduction to solving a word problem. And we talked about, maybe different classes of problems, simple numerical relationships, something about integers. The word integer means something. Typically the word number, although may be an integer, it may not be an integer. It may be a rational number, a ratio of integers. All right, so we went through some examples, the examples we did at the whiteboard. Hopefully you're able to follow that, and you studied the material. Now, what we're hoping for now is that after you've studied the material, and we did that together, we hope that you're ready to try it on your own, and that is do homework. Be on your own, do homework. So what I want to do now is I want to, do another screen share with you, and I'm going to do that in a second. Okay, you're seeing my whiteboard now. Now, of course, if you're saying, where are the notes now? I don't see the notes. I'm not going to copy the problems for you. I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do. We're in section 4. And we're doing the homework. And we're going to start with problem number 1. So repeat this. We've already covered section 4. We hope that you paid attention and you made some attempt to understand what we're doing in class. Now is the time that you do things on your own. We're hoping at this point that you've had a chance to digest the material and do these problems on your own. I'm certainly going to be working at the whiteboard to do these problems over here, but the expectation is you've already done them. You may be watching this just to reinforce that you're doing things correctly. So again, the notes in your possession. I'm not going to just copy the problem down. I'm going to read it to you though. And then I'll write down what they want to know. The first thing I read is it says twice the difference between a number and 25 is 3 times the number. No, I'm not memorizing what I've read, nor am I terribly interested in what I just read. Now, the second sentence says find the number. So I'm just going to simply say the number. This is n. N is the number. Now, what does it say? Let me read this to you. It says twice the difference. All right. So it's twice the difference. Now, difference has to have 2 terms in it. Now, twice the difference. It says the difference between a number and 25. So it's the difference between a number and 25. All right. Is 3 times the number. Is means it's equal, and it's 3 times the number. Right, I'm going to say this is the gold standard in doing a word problem is be able to understand what you're looking for. We're looking for the number, and then write down what they said about it. And what they said about it was some kind of an equality here. That twice the difference between the number and 25 is the same thing as 3 times the number. I'm going to solve the equation now. It's going to be 2n, just distributive product multiplication, minus, 2 times 25 is 50, right? Equals 3n. I'm going to subtract 2n from both sides. And what do you get? Minus 50 equals n. So I know what the number is now. What's the number? The number is minus 50. Let's go to the answer key and see how we've done. What does it say? The final answer is the number is minus 50. I feel good about that. Again, if you've not studied or attempted to do this material, this might seem like it's going really fast for you. Go back, study the material, do the homework, and then come back and look at this, right? These will be published and they'll be available to you from the beginning of the course to the end of the course once they're published. I shouldn't say the beginning, but once they're published till the end. All right. And then do problem number two now. We're still in the homework. Again, I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to write the problem down. It says the difference between 9 times a number and 6 is 12. Well, again, I'm not interested in what I've read. It's not very interesting, but they do say find the number. So I'm going to simply say they're still looking for a number. I'm going to say n is the number. I don't know what the number is, though. Let me read it to you, though. It says the difference between Well, between two things, right? The difference between 9 times a number and 6 is 12. Well, I think I can solve this equation now by adding 6 to both sides. You would get 9n equals 18. Then I would divide both sides by 9. And what do you get? N equals 2. So I believe the number is 2. What I'm going to encourage you to do is look at the answer key, and we are looking at that. The number is 2. All right, let's do number 3 now. Again, if you're watching these off schedule, what you could do is pause the tape if you like, if you're tired or whatever. So what does number 3 say? It says one integer is 8 more than another integer. All right. Again, it's not terribly interesting, but they're telling me something about integers. One integer is 8 more than another integer. Okay. The next thing it says the sum of the integers is 26. Find the integers. Well, what do I know? I know there's 2 integers. So I'm going to simply say x is an integer. Again, you should know what the word integer means now. I'm going to keep reading it to you, though, and go back to it. I'm not trying to remember, I'm trying to read. They say the other integer, right, is 8 more than that one. So what does that mean? The other integer is x plus 8. It's 8 more than that one. This is the other integer. Again, it's important to know what they're referencing. So one integer is 8 more than another integer. So I have 2 integers. One is x, the other one's x plus 8. It says the sum of the integers. Well, let me write this down. That means this integer plus the other integer, the sum of those integers is 26. All right, let's see if we can solve it. 2x plus 8 equals 26. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. But when I'm solving an equation, I'm no longer thinking about the words. I'm thinking about a very simple equation. 8 from 26 is 18. So x would be equal to, well, maybe I'm going too fast there. Let me just back up a second. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And what do you get there? X equals 9. So I know the integer here is 9. And the other one is going to be, well, if x is 9, the other integer would be 9 plus 8, which is 17. Now someone says, what's their question? Their question is find the integers. Well, the integers are 9 and 17. I'm going to put them in a box. And of course, they're integers. Let's see if we got it right, though. Look at the answer key where they say the integers are 9 and 17. I'm feeling good about that. I'll go to number 4 now. And again, part is just, do you understand what you've read and do you know what they're looking for? And again, it says the sum of 3 numbers is 17. Confused already. The second number is twice the first number, and the third number is 3 times. Oh, they're using all kinds of words here. They say find the 3 numbers. Well, I want to point out there's 3 objects now. So I guess do they give the objects names? And I hope you can read through that and at least know that you'd name the objects. They have second number, twice number, first number. So I'm going to write this down. I'm going to say first number. I don't know what it is. Again, a number may be an integer, it may not be an integer. There's a second number. They use the name. And there's a third number. And again, they use the name. Okay. I'm going to read it to you. I don't know what these numbers are, but I want to read it to you. I know whatever these numbers are that, it says the sum of the 3 numbers would be 17. That doesn't help me. It says the second number, I'll point this out to you. The second number, I'm reading this, is twice the first number. Well, you know what it is? I don't know what the first number is, so I'm going to call the first number x. I'm going to go back and read to you. The second number is twice the first number. So this is pretty easy. It's 2x. I'm going to keep reading. It says the third number is 3 less than the second number. I'll write that down. It's 3 less then the second number. What's the second number? 2x. All right. Go back to the first sentence. It's the sum of the three numbers. Let's write this down. X plus 2x plus 2x minus 3. Again, you're not memorizing or reading. The sum of the three numbers is 17. Well, I got to simplify it. What do I get? Well, 2, 4, 5x minus 3 equals 17. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. You're going to get 5x equals 20. And then we're going to divide both sides by 5. And what do you get? X equals 4. So I'm ready to write the number down. The first number is going to be 4. The second number is twice x, which would be 8. And the third number is going to be twice x, which is 8, minus 3, which is 5. So what are the numbers? 4, 5, and 8. I'll put a box in that. Look at the key, see if you got it right. Where they say the numbers are 4, 5, and 8. Relatively simple. All right, that was number 4. We're going to number 5 now. What's number 5? And again, this might seem difficult when you're reading it. Concentrate on reading it, though, not memorizing it. It says 5 times the smallest of 3 consecutive odd integers. Now, right now, I know I talk about odd integers. So I'm going to say x is an odd integer. X is an odd integer. Now, if x is an odd integer, the next one would be x plus 2. That's the next odd integer. So the next one. They say there's 3 of them, though. And what's the third one going to be? Well, I got to go up 2 again. So it's x plus 4. So this is the last odd integer. Now, by the way, I'm not saying they use those names, but I hope you realize we've got 3 integers. They're odd, x being the first, x plus 2 being the second, x plus 4 being the third odd integer. I'm going to reread it again. I know they're talking about 3 consecutive odd integers. Typically write this as an abstraction, x plus 2, x plus 4. Let me see if they gave them names, though. All right, what do they say? Well, the first thing I notice is that the smallest. So I'm going to say over here, this would be the smallest. That would be the smallest of 3 consecutive odd integers. Now, what else names they use? They use the largest. This would be the largest. Now, you might say the middle guy's feeling, a little bit upset, but I don't think they really used a name for him. I'll probably call him medium, though, if I had to. But anyway, it's names I see smallest and largest. Let me read it to you again. What does it say? 5 times the smallest, right, is 7 more. If that's 7 is something. 7 more than twice the largest. Okay, I got my equation. Let's solve it. 5x, 2x, plus 8 plus 7, 5x, 2x, well, 8 and 7 is 15, right? Subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to move this up. And what do you get? You get 3x equals 15. And then I'm going to do is divide both sides by 3. And what do you get there? X equals 5. Now, so I can't remember what we're talking about over here. We're talking about 3 consecutive odd integers. 5 is certainly an integer, and it's certainly odd. What's the next one going to be? Go up by 2, you get 7. What's the next one going to be? You go up by 2, you'd be at 9. All right, what was their question now? And again, I want to read it to you. It says, find the integers. Well, I found the integers. They're right here. All right, let's read, see if they got the same answer. Sorry about that. And I'll take a look at it. They said it's 5, 7, and 9. I realize some students might argue that I can do that without algebra. We're here to learn algebra, though, not to simply reason through these problems. Although I do believe reasoning is an important skill, we're trying to learn algebra, and it's really important you focus on that skill set right now, algebra skill set. All right, let's go to number 6. And number 6 says, 5 times the smallest of 3, because, even integers now. So I'm going to write the abstraction. I'm getting a little better at this now. And even integers are going to be x. The next one would be x plus 2. And the next one would be x plus 4. All right, even integers. X is an even integer. If you go 2 up, you're still an even integer. If you go up 2 more, you're still an even integer. Go up by 2. All right, do they use names? Just like the prior problem, they use names like small. I'll put this over here. This is the smallest one. All right, so I do see the word small, and I'm seeing the word largest. I'm going to call this guy over here the largest one. Okay, the middle guy, x plus 2, you can call him medium if you want. Let me see, it says 5 times the smallest. I'm just reading now. It's number 6. 5 times the smallest is 16 less than 3 times the largest. All right, I'm ready to go. 5x, 3x plus 12 minus 16, 5x, I'm just simplifying, 3x, well, 12 minus 16 is minus 4. I am now going to subtract 3x from both sides. And what do you get? 2x equals minus 4. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And what do you get? X equals minus 2. Well, I know my integers now. And certainly minus 2 is an even integer. What's the next one going to be? Well, you're going up by 2, so you'd be at 0. What's the next one going to be? You're going up by 2, which would be 2. All right, what was their question? Find the integers. Well, we found the integers. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's see if we can agree with them, though. Would they say minus 2, 0, and 2? All right, let's keep going. Number 7. And I'll read it to you. Okay, it says the sum of two numbers is 18. Now here's we're saying number. I don't know what the numbers are, by the way. They could be integers, they could be fractions, they could even be something more bizarre than that. Let's hope not, though. It says the total of 3 times a smaller number and twice the larger number. Now, what I noticed that they use two names now, and I'm going to use 2 letters, although we don't want to use 2 letters. But I'm going to say L is the large number. I do see the name. And they use the word S. I'm sorry, they use the word small. I'm going to use the letter S for that. These are very similar, these problems so far, to what we've done in class. Now, let me read it to you. It says the sum of the 2 numbers is 18. I'll write this down. L plus S equals 18. Well, I really only want to use 1 letter in the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for L. And what's L going to be equal to? 18 minus S. So the large number is also 18 minus S. Again, the small number is still S. All right. Now, if you add those 2 numbers together, of course, you get 18. Right? That's not an issue. Here's what they said. This is still number 7. They said the total. What does total mean? I'm adding things together. So what did they say? The total of 3 times the smaller number. Well, that's going to be 3S and twice the larger number. What's the large number? It's actually 18 minus S. All right, let me read that again to you. The total of 3 times the smaller number and twice the larger number is 44. All right, see if we can solve it. 3S plus, well, 2 times 18 is 36, right? Minus 2S equals 44. 3S minus 2S is just an S, plus 36 equals 44. I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. And what do you get there? S equals 8. All right, so what's a small number? The small number is 8. What's the large number though? Well, it's 18 minus 8. So the large number would be 10. All right, what's their question? Find the two numbers. The two numbers are 8 and 10. Put that in the box. I found them through algebra. And now we're going to see what the answer key says. What does the answer key say? 8 and 10. All right. We're done with the homework. It didn't take long to get through that. And I'm hoping you can do that pretty quickly. What I want to do is I want to switch screens. And I'm going to go back to the notes. So I'm at the notes, and we just did the word problems. Once you master this, really quick to do that. I want to point out, though, I want to look at the Sage code again. So I'm going to go back to that. Someone said, do I really need to do this? No. But I'm going to point out that you really want to start thinking about, moving forward. I'm going to tell you in the notes, you notice this red thing here, it's in, like it looks different than the other type here. If you click on that, it's going to open up a web browser. All right, now when you open up the web browser, it's going to take you directly to the Sage Math website. All right, now when you get there, my recommendation is it is an application, but I think we're at a level here where we're going to use the web-based application. So I'm going to go to CoCalc again. And wait for it to launch. I was here 46 minutes ago. And click on that. Okay, don't worry about this stuff here. I want to do a new worksheet. All right, I'm going to click the new button. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm going to click new. And I want to create a Sage worksheet. It's going to open up. Looks like a word processor, right? Now someone says, what are you going to do now? I'm just going to go back to the notes and see if I could type that stuff in. All right, so the first thing is reset. I want to remind you that you just don't hit the return button. It's got to be the shift button and the return key at the same time. So again, shift, return, it's going to execute it. Then you'll type in S, L equals var. Yes, you are programming when you do this. S is in parentheses. This looks familiar. And L is in those parentheses. I'm sorry, in quote marks. I'm sorry. Okay, I hit the return button. What happened? Nothing. It put a character return in. Remember this. What I have to do is hit shift return. It executes command. I want to tell you what this says. S and L are now variables. What do you think S and L stands for? We just did a problem, right? Small and large. All right. So I'm going to do this now. Solve. This seems strange. We're going to solve an equation now. The small number plus the large number is equal to 12. Yeah, we did a problem like this a while back. And we want to solve it for the letter L. I'm going to hit return now. So I'm going to say, if I type in L now, let me do that for you. Remember, shift return. I'm going to tell you L, for me, looking at this, is represented by minus S plus 12. All right, let's do the next thing. Solve 3 star S. We must use the star key for multiplication in Sage. Plus 6 is equal to 4 star 12 minus S. Oops, I made a mistake there. I just noticed by looking. I didn't look at my type. 12 minus S. I'm using multiple letters, right? Minus 7, comma, S. I'm going to hit shift return now. What's S? S is 5. I'm going to do one more for you. And I want to point out this can do, maybe I should do one more. We went through that code. That's good enough. Okay. That's the end of that homework and the end of the Sage session there.